So the last speaker of the first session is Ron Black, CEO of Codasip, presenting their recent advancement. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here again. Great to see a lot of new and old friends. You're going to see from my presentation that Thomas did a perfect setup. I'm also talking about optimal performance with zero risk. But before I go into that, in case you don't know Codasip, here's the simple slide on it. We just had our 10th anniversary. Fantastic party, lots of beer. It was brilliant. We're headquartered here in Munich. We're a German company. We have grown a lot in the last couple of years. So we're up to about 250 people or more. And we're pretty unique because all of our R&D is in Europe, on purpose. All of our R&D. So we're truly a European IP and EDA company. We're a founding member of RISC-V, and we enable what we call custom compute. So our EDA tool Studio, which we use, we eat our own dog food to design RISC-V processor cores, and we combine them together so that customers can truly make them customized, and that's what we call custom compute. So normally in my keynotes, I talk about an industry problem, and the first slide is about the industry problem, and then at the end I talk about a product here or there. This time I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to first talk about our recently introduced studio called Fusion, which is the 10th version of Studio in 10 years, so on average one per year. And it's based on our third version of Codal, which is a processor description language. Looks like C to me, but it's a processor description language. Now, this is really absolutely outstanding. I don't understand how it works. You'd have to talk to the engineers in Zdenek, but somehow the engineers got together and they took the instruction accurate model and the cycle accurate model, and they somehow fused it in an absolutely brilliant way so you could do architectural exploration, still profile your code and do this. And then when you want to make a processor, it automates it, including the pipeline. So all of this complex hazards, forwarding stuff that I don't understand anymore, it auto-magically does it for you. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, a lot of times when you do that and then you take it through high-level synthesis, it doesn't give you competitive products always because it's a little bit inefficient. Not the case. We've used the tool. We've just announced the L110. Incredibly competitive, and we're using it on several of the processors that we're designing now. But the best part about this, and this will lead to the industry problem we see where Thomas picked off, what we've done with Fusion is we've made it special to be able to add even custom instructions in a really elegant, simple way so that you don't have to verify, as long as you follow the rules. It's really brilliant. I'll come back to that. So it's always nice when somebody else tells you you're very good, as opposed to you telling the customers you're very good. And we're very lucky to have John Petty and team do a review of Fusion. And this is John's words, not ours. Codasip's tools-first business model is proven to have legs, and arguably the company is more attractive today than other RISC-V rivals. So really, really good feedback that we're starting to get from customers and analysts. So we're all here for RISC-V, and I won't go into this too much. Calista did a fantastic job, as she always does. I have to say I'm incredibly impressed with the volume uptake. The analysis we did was also consistent with what Calista said. It's a lot more than this. It's a lot more. And by my calculations, when I've looked at this, I think RISC-V has ramped faster than other architectures have in the past. So this is really a tribute to all of you and the great work that this community is doing. Now, having said things are great, we have had in the past some challenges, let's call it, some weak points. One is not always were the processors that we collectively as an industry made all that high performance. because high-performance processors, really optimizing it is really, really hard. So they had that. And, right, we haven't always had as many design points that have been out there because we've only been around for a short period of time. And if somebody has 40 years of developing portfolio, it's a lot better. And in the past, there's been challenges on quality, which is where we pick up on the verification. So we have had those, but I think now we're coming out of it, and as an industry, all of the people making processors are doing an absolutely fantastic job, and on all of those. What we specialize in is custom compute. And here just shows some examples of how we optimize from a base design and then with some custom instructions doing these things, and it's huge. The performance density, the energy conservation, all of this is great. The problem with this is the verification, right? Because Studio is a very flexible tool. You can do all of these changes. It's really elegant. You can make it work very easily. But then when you've made these changes, you have to go back and verify it. And you know, right, the real problem, the industry issue here, and Thomas mentioned this as well, is there's not a lot of processor designers. So when I finished my PhD, right, all of the cool kids were doing computer architecture because it was the expansion of RISC companies. There was a huge number of places to go. But all of the cool kids today are data scientists and doing AI, and you don't have that much talent to do it. So you must automate. And if you look at the design, right, design is a small part of it, verification is the big part. So how do you deal with the fact that you can't have that many engineers, and you want to have an explosion of different new architectures, like with RISC-V, because you are allowed as an open ISA to customize it? Well, you have to do something really unique. So this is a picture to try to describe what we do. So what Codasip starts with is a great design, and then we make sure it's highly configurable. And then the normal Studio, before Fusion, allowed you to do designer. So on this plot, you would have huge amount of customization freedom, but you'd have to verify it a lot. So what the engineers did was create essentially like functions in the design, and if you customize only within certain bounds, you can do most of the performance enhancements with the least amount of verification. So what Fusion has is custom bounded instructions. You could think of it as just calling functions, and you can add those, and it costs you nothing. In fact, the tool protects you from changing things that you're not allowed to do. So this is, we think, a breakthrough because it allows you to have optimizing performance without the verification. In fact, what we think about it as, and this has been since I came to the company as CEO a couple of years ago, I really always wanted to make every embedded software developer a processor designer through the automation in a starting point. And that's what I think we've been able to achieve. And of course, when this now software developer goes, profiles their code, customizes within custom bounded, actually the output is human readable RTL, because that's what Studio does, and the LLVM toolchain complete with the new instructions, so you can have the entire thing done completely. So from our side, we think we have solved one of the largest problems the industry has, a lack of processor designers, and we have flexible, high performance, high quality, safe and secure. We have a lot of safe and secure processors that are out there, and it is now complete with Fusion, with custom bounded, and it's complete, but it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. So thank you. That's it.